What's going on, people? Welcome to a live reaction video. Hopefully, this will be the first of many during this preseason, postseason, however you want to look at it. Jefferson Lerma has officially signed for Palace. We'll be reacting to that. And as always, we want to hear from you. So make sure to leave down your comments in the comment section down below. And if you do enjoy it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe as well. Patrick, how you doing, man? You're looking younger. But every time I speak, this is what happens when you're not here talking about Palace.
Yeah, right. And I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I actually got a trim today because I thought, Saturday I'm going out Box Park for the Champions League final, so I want to look fresh
Nice.
for that. And then
Nice.
all of a sudden, you see Palace announce a Lerma, so it worked out both ways. But as always, as I said, if you do enjoy the stream, make sure to leave down your comments down below. Let us know what you guys think about the Lerma signing. But before we get started with our reaction to it, let's read out some of the quotes and some of the details about the transfer. So according to this coming from Palace's website, 28-year-old Colombian international will join the club on a 3-year deal. So it was firstly reported that it would be a 4-year deal. That's not the case. It's going to be a 3-year deal when his current contract ends at Bournemouth. So he'll be joining the club on the 1st of July. And Lerma, what did he say about the move? He said the following. He said that I'm very happy and excited by this new opportunity. Crystal Palace has some good players, agree with that, and a good team. And I want to help with every objective the club has next season. So no surprises there. Also, Steve Parish, the chairman, which we're going to talk about later on because there's been a massive meltdown on Twitter about what's been going on with transfers. So we'll talk about that. But this is what he said about the transfer. He said that he's a strong addition to our squad. He's a proven performer at Premier League level. And his combative and competitive nature will endear him to Crystal Palace fans. 100% agree there. We'll look forward to welcoming him on the 1st of July in preparation for 11th consecutive season in the top flight. So some generic comments there, very good signing. I'm excited to play for Crystal Palace and all of that, as you always hear, Patrick. But what's your reaction to it all? Well, let's hear some of your quote.
Well, I'm very happy with the signing. I think it's a very good addition to the team. I will honestly say, I mentioned it before, I don't know, honestly, at this time why he signed for Palace because I don't think, I may be wrong, did Parish or Lerma mention about the manager? He's happy to sign for our current manager? Didn't mention that,
No
did he?
manager. Well, we
Right.
don't have a manager, so
Right.
yeah.
So for me, I'm surprised. But again, it was a free. I'm sure his wages are very good. But as far as the signing, I think it's a very good signing. I think he slots right in. Honestly, for me, it's Eze, it's Decore, it's Lerma for me. But we'll get into that in a bit. And I love the timing of it because again, I was in our group chat talking about congratulating West Ham on winning the Conference League yesterday, and then all of a sudden, I heard I'm not on Twitter anymore. I heard that there was a big uproar about with Palace fans getting on our owner, and all of a sudden we announced the signing the next day. So if that's what it takes, man. Hopefully, Man City win the Champions League on Saturday. We announce the signing on Sunday. You know what I mean? So.
Just as long as English clubs win European trophies, then it's going to be fine. But look, I'll be going through some of your comments, and also we'll be talking about that Steve Parish moment yesterday because it all kicked off. I was actually surprised. Look, of course, we're going to be frustrated because you see another rival winning a European trophy, depending on how you view things. But I was a bit shocked that Parish actually replied to some of the comments. But we'll talk about that later on. This is Jefferson Lerma's spotlight right now.
Yeah.
But look, you mentioned that Decore and Eze, that's how he's going to fit into the side. But where do you see him actually playing? Because for me, I would like to see him as like a number 8. Decore number 6 in a 4-3-3 formation with Eze as a number 10 and Lerma as number 8, box-to-box midfielder. But he has played number 6 for Bournemouth. And there's also, before I forget, there's going to be a what to expect from Lerma video coming out tomorrow where we go in depth with a Bournemouth fan in terms of what to expect about the player. Very good video. I'm not saying that because it's coming out here, but it's genuinely a very good video in terms of finding out about the player because apparently he can play in defense as well. He has played in the past, which is interesting. But for you, Patrick, where do you see him fitting into the Palace side?
I'll get into what he can do in a minute, but he can play left defensive midfield in a double pivot. He can play central midfield in a midfield 3. He can play right center in a box-to-box in midfield 3. He can play center back in a back 3, and he can play center midfield in a midfield 2. I've seen him do it, and I've watched videos on him. So he's very versatile. He's the most versatile midfielder we're going to have. He's more versatile than Ahamada, than Gyro, than Hughes, than Schlupp. So for me, it doesn't matter. What matters most is the manager and the style we want to play. And that's why I think he's such a great signing, because he's very, very versatile. He's not a one thing. He can play the 6 and 8. He's not going to score a lot of goals. I know last year he scored 5 goals. That's not his forte. I think he takes average one shot a match. I mean, so he's not going to score a lot of goals, but he's very combative. He's very progressive. Think of Check Decore, but not as good of a tackler. That's how he reminds me of, because he's very, very progressive. He looks forward when he passes. He can block the channels for passes. He's not a great tackler, but he'll block the channels. He can press. He's a very good presser. So for me, honestly, I'm not kidding. He's the perfect counterbalance to Check Decore for me. He really, really is. He's got legs. He's 20 years old. He's got Premier League experience. I mean, for me, it's a very astute signing, man. Listen, I don't know who did it. Parrish, Dougie. I'm telling you right now, it's a great signing. It really is. And I was complaining for a year and a half under Vieira. We didn't have a midfielder. We signed it. If we had this signing a year ago, well, let's not go there. But my point is that having now is Anahamada, having lost Luca and MacArthur, major upgrade, and nothing put down on MacArthur and Luca. I really like them a lot. I'm talking about from the age standpoint and a versatility standpoint. It's a big upgrade. I'm really happy to have him.
Yeah, and look, I have to reiterate what you're saying. I think, look, people may look at this as a free transfer, and they may be thinking, oh, look, it's cheap business. We got Lerma. For those of you that don't know Lerma, you may think like that, and I kind of get where you might be coming from with that mentality, but I think it's the total opposite. I think this is a fantastic sign. We'll give our rating towards the end of this stream.
Right.
But Lerma is the ideal fit for us. He can do a bit of everything. This season, he scored the most amount of goals that he has at Bournemouth throughout his time there. He dropped down to the Championship, also performed there as well. And the Bournemouth fan that I actually spoke to had said that, he was too good enough for the Championship. He could have easily left. There was interest elsewhere. But he seemed like a leader off the field. From what I've gathered, he seemed like a player that is very liked by the fan base. He always has time to speak to the fans.
Right.
So I think like that, he fits into the club. But I'm not going to give any more spoilers. The video will be out tomorrow, so you can go watch it yourself. But overall, I am very happy with the signing. I think it is exactly what we needed. And when you're talking about a £25 million player that has improved, I think he has improved ever since he joined Bournemouth. Yep. So arguably a £30 million player that we're getting on a free deal, you can't go wrong with that. I'm sorry, you can't go wrong with that. I think it's a fantastic signing. He can do everything that we require from a midfielder. And when he's playing around better players, because I do think we've got a better squad than
Elevate his game.
Yeah, it should elevate his game. And imagine him picking up passes to the likes of Eze or, Elise, if Wilf stays as well. I think he has that another headache to oppositions, especially if he plays as a number 8. But that's the biggest question. Would he play as a number 8? It might depend on the manager, but you could easily play as like a 2 holding midfielder next to Decore, and that could still work. But at the end of the day, wherever he plays, fantastic signing. That's
upgrade.
what I think as well. 100%. Let's go through. 100% upgrade, and we're going to see it next season. And I'm genuinely excited about it. Alexander says, I'm so excited to have Lerma. He is quality. My favorite player of Bournemouth last year. So, agree. A lot of Bournemouth fans are disappointed, by the way. Not angry at Lerma, but they're disappointed that they gave it to another Premier League rival, a player like this.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't technically give him us, but that's how they're seeing it. They think he improves Palace just like that, which is another credit to him. Like the sound of Hall from Chelsea on loan. I will talk about other players. A bit later. Mark Drew says, great signing, but let's hope our new manager will play him. And I think
our old manager too. Any manager.
Exactly. I think it would be foolish to not play Lerma, in all honesty. I'll be very shocked considering what he's done at the Premier League with Bournemouth and the quality that he has, the experience that he has. So even if it is Roy Hodgson, you do think Patrick Gale, just like me, that he will play him, right?
Yeah, I mean, think about end of the last season. Obviously, it was Hughes playing more, but because for me, Lerma can play on that left side, you can slot him in. It just gives, again, it adds competition to that position. It just adds versatility. Again, the ability to get, to press, to move the ball forward. I mean, to me, he's an upgrade. Listen, I have no issue with Hughes, but he's quicker than Hughes. He's a better player to me than Hughes. I think it's just an upgrade. And again, if for whatever reason he doesn't fire right away, you've got Hughes to fall back on. So I think that's a good thing. You got Hamada to fall back on in that position. You've got now you've got like real depth in that midfield. That was our biggest issue last year. And again, if Decore were to be injured, God forbid, or to be suspended, you just drop Lerma in that position. Last year we couldn't do that. You had to have like a Luka come in there for him. So to me, it's such a major upgrade. It's such a really good signing. I just think there's no negative to this. There is nothing to say about it. I don't care about his wages. Wages players, I don't care about. Signing fee, maybe, possibly sometime, but valuation issue. But I don't care how much they're paying the guys. It's a great deal for Paz. It really is.
Yeah, and talking about his contract length, what do you think about a 3-year deal? Because I think that is very ideal as well in a way, because he's 28 right now, but he's going to turn 29, I believe, next season. So when his contract expires, he should be most likely 31, 32. I think that's a good age as well for a contract to expire. It seemed like he got a nice, good deal. And then from there, we can see if he's still got the legs, if he's still got the ability to play on. So I think even the contract length, some people may not think about it, but I think it's a good amount of time for Palace as well. It's not a crazy long deal, like 5-year deal that we signed at 28 years old.
I agree. Yeah, for that age, 28, which for me, you're normally in your prime, and then Palace don't like to really sign players over 30 anyway. So at 31, maybe even 2 years, decided after the second year, we sell him all like we normally do. We let the guy, let the contract expire and he goes somewhere else, and if we probably go back to Spain most likely. But no, I think the contract level is absolutely perfect for us. And again, it gives us the ability to get 2 good years out of him, hopefully, and then the third year, whatever happens.
Yeah, exactly. Colin says he's great in the box and picking up second balls, which we lack a bit. Yeah, 100%. I'm actually so excited. You know what? I said it on Twitter. I'm going to say it again. I expect Lerma to have the same impact that Decore had in his first season as well when he joined us.
Big shout, season. But I agree with you.
The reason for that is because he's joining a better midfield, in my opinion. He's got the quality to actually elevate the players around him. So I expect Lerma to come in and do what Decore done. Maybe not in a similar way in terms of defensively and how good Decore was in front of defense, but as a number 8 that we haven't had, and as a number 8 that that we didn't have, and it cost us this past season. It cost us massively because at times, let's be honest, we were playing Decore by himself in midfield.
By himself, yeah.
Like it was ridiculous, and the guy held it down and helped us so much, which you give praise to Decore for that. But I think Lerma is not that far off Decore in terms of talent and ability. I don't know about you, Patrick, but I don't think he is. I think he's got the technical ability to be like Decore.
I have to agree, D. Like Decore, he played abroad. He played in Spain. He's a Colombian international. He played in the World Cup. I mean, do you know what I mean? He's got quality. He's got experience. Like you said, he went down championship, got them promoted right back. I mean, when they signed him, I went back and watched. I actually went back. All right, call me crazy. I went back and watched a Bournemouth when he first signed for them. It was a massive. He signed on Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe can pick out talent. He signed for a big fee. He was a big signing for them, man. No, I think there's nothing to complain about with this signing. Again, like someone said before, just wherever it is, just play him. You'll be fine. Just play him next to the goal. You'll be great. And do whatever Eze does, so.
Yeah, exactly. If you guys want the lines to be open, we can open up the lines as well. If you guys want to join in and have your say as well, let us know in the live comment section. We can open up for you guys so you can have your say as always. Alexander says Lerma makes some midfield nailed on almost, with Hughes and Schlupp getting an occasional start. Not sure or where Ahamada goes given how low he's on the hierarchy. Ahamada, I think Ahamada should be a very good depth option, but the bigger question that I want to ask and get your thoughts on this as well is our midfield complete? Is it set now? With Lerma joining, do we need any other midfielders? Because for me, personally, I feel like our midfield with Lerma, Eze, and Decore is fine. And in terms of depth options, we got Ahamada there. We as we said, Schlupp could be an option coming off the bench as well. Depth-wise, you have the youngsters such as the Ozo that could come through as well. So I think our midfield is complete. But do you think that's the case? Do you think we still need another midfielder?
No, 100%. No. Well, listen, Ahamada was never a signing for last season anyway. My only issue with Ahamada was I wanted to see him play, and no one played him. Vieira didn't play him, and Hudson definitely didn't play him. So from that standpoint, I wanted to see what he has. I saw him in Germany. I like what I saw. Ahamada can play in the Premier League. He's going to be a year older. Hopefully, preseason will help him a lot. Preseason matches, getting involved in the squad. I think Ahamada. People say he's down on the pecking order. I agree with that, but I think that he's a very good quality depth option. You've got Hughes, you've got Gyro. I mean, as far as I know, Gyro's coming back. You got Gyro, you got Schlupp. To me, you move Schlupp now out wide. Schlupp now becomes an option out wide more. You don't have to use a midfield at all. You use him out wide. If he's not, I don't think I don't want to get into the Wolf thing yet. But if Wolf comes back, he's a perfect person to bring on late in a match because that's what Schlupp does well. Come on late and he can. So for me, our midfield is set. And then you just said you've got Ozo, you got Phillips. You've got youngsters in our academy that honestly should be at least bench options in League Cup, etc. Because there's no reason why, God forbid, get an injury or two, you can't have those players involved. So no, for me, with what's his name going back to Arsenal, Lokonga, this is definitely our midfield is set for me, barring an injury, a major injury.
Yeah, we're going to talk about other positions as well later on down the show. But if you guys want to call in to have your say on the Lerma signing and whatever you have on your mind about Palace, the lines are now open. Click on the pinned comment to join us live. We'll go through some of the comments that's coming through as well. As always, people, if you're liking the stream, make sure to hit the like button. It takes a second of your time and helps us out massively as well. And yeah, Sean says, and Killian as well. Killian's an option as well.
Right, Killian Phillips,
midfield.
Yeah.
Depends on who we loan out and who we
right,
who we keep, because there's also that we don't know yet in terms of who's going to go out on loan. Maybe Oza might even go out on loan. But this is the thing; it depends on the manager, though, Patrick. It depends on the next manager, in all honesty. Because if the next manager wants to play three at the back, then this midfield three that we're talking about, maybe it's not how we expect it to happen. You know, it can go out the window. So it really does. But then again, based on Athletic, what they said, the report that came out this week, it seemed like we haven't made up our mind about a manager. I thought they was going to say how Roy Hodgson is going to be the next manager, but it seemed like we haven't. And maybe Graham Potter gets the best out of them. I don't know. I don't know at this rate. Well, let's see. Hesketh says, if you can see Lerma do even half as good a job as someone like Kabay did in terms of winning the ball and moving it forward to the likes of Ebbs, then we'll have a good signing on our hands.
Good shout.
I think with Lerma, I'm not expecting him to be like crazy tackler. I don't expect him to sweep up like Decore does at times.
No.
I want him to do a bit of everything. I want him to run into the box and be a threat as well, because he scored 5 goals for Bournemouth this season. And when I was talking to the Bournemouth fan for the video that's getting released tomorrow, he spoke about, I asked him the question, is it down to the formation? Is he just improving as a player? And he gave a very interesting response. So look, I do think Lerma's best suited to a number 8 for Palace, but then again, he has played as a number 6 for Bournemouth. So that'll be interesting to see what the next manager does, because it can easily be a 4-2-3-1 with Decore and Lerma sitting. If those two sit, then good luck trying to go past that. Literally, good luck. That's what I have to say. Bunny says, I'd like to see a left winger if Wilf goes. We'll go through the other comments about transfers in general just a second. Luke says, midfield is so cooking right now. 100%, man. We're cooking some good food right now. Talking about cooking, I'm hungry. So let's not talk about cooking. Colin says, will there be any more outgoings other than Mateta, Schlupp, and Reed? Well, the others are talking about...
Schlupp's going where? Where's Schlupp going? Is he going? I didn't hear that. Is Schlupp leaving?
Nah. Well, I think he's suggesting like...
i.e. Schlupp. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Okay, let's answer this whilst we're here.
Well, I would have thought, honestly, it would have been the players who just re-signed, which the three right backs, Ferguson, Ward, Klein, one of them would have left. I thought Tompkins would have left, because why would you need Tompkins? So I don't know. I think it's going to be one of the big players are going to leave. I'm sticking to the fact that either Gehi or Eze or at least get sold off, because that's the only way we can fund other signings. But again, Lerma coming on a free, maybe we don't, and then we sign those guys as right back. What we left with? We left with a Wolf replacement and a striker. So knowing us, we probably won't sign more than 2 more players anyway. So I don't know.
That's but talking about, so looking ahead,
right.
What do you want to see next in terms of signings? Because of course we need more signings than just Lerma on a free deal.
Right.
But what do you want to see? For me, I've said this time and time and again, I don't want to sound spoiled, but I genuinely feel like we need, maybe if you sign 2 starting players, like quality players, a striker and a right back, I think our squad is complete in terms of starting 11. But in depth, yes, we can have the argument. And that's what I want to see next. And now, moving on to the next topic as well, whilst I'm asking that, there was a lot of frustration after West Ham won the Conference League yesterday. Not on a hating vibe, but people were just realizing how in the 10 years, we've only finished in the top 10 just once. And, you know, teams are getting promoted. Teams are going in European Cup. It's European competitions. They're winning European competitions, but we haven't had that. So in terms of ambition, I really want us to sign a right back and a striker, even though the right back situation is looking a bit more difficult. Hopefully, maybe this changes Steve Parish's mind after what West Ham done yesterday and we go for it. But yeah, I don't think we need that many more signings. But for you, Patrick, who should we go for next?
I'm going to say 3 signings. I'm with you. Realistically, it's going to be 2. 100%, I want a right back. I don't care about the Klein, Ward, Ferguson triumvirate. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's not going to help Olise develop. It's not going to help our style of play under any manager. So that has to happen, but it probably won't. A striker, definitely. Whether Mateta or Eduardo both leave, I don't really care. We need a striker that can score. The thing is, we haven't found that player since Benteke. I mean, we haven't had a striker in 10 years in the Premier League that of any real quality. Edward, I thought was going to be brilliant after the Spurs, but he's proven to be not great. Mateta, I have no issue with, honestly, but people want to, kill him. But he hasn't produced, but he has produced at some important time, but he's not up to it either. So a striker. I'll be honest with you. I think we need not a replacement for Wolf. We need a backup for Wolf. We need a real backup for Wolf. I know I just said about Schlupp playing out there, but I really want a right-footed, inverted winger type like Wolf that can not push Wolf, but just honestly, if he gets injured off a bit, that he can come in and provide. Because we don't have that player. I mean, Rasaki plays on the other side, and Boy plays on the other side. John Kamani Gordon can do it, but he's young. I mean, but we need a quality. But again, but that's wishful. So in all honesty, a right back and a striker for me would be perfect. But I just don't see us getting more than one more player. And if I had to pick one, I'd just give me a striker. I don't know who, I don't know where, but give me a striker. I need a 15 goal scorer. I need it bad.
So do you think that because of what you read on the Athletic? Let me ask you that. Before the Athletic report, did you think that we would make more signings?
Yeah, I thought we're definitely going to get a right back and a striker. I really thought that. So after reading that, I thought, well, we're done. We're done out here. We're not getting nobody, basically.
Yeah.
So
look, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk because I think we have to talk about it, and I'm genuinely curious on what other people think as well. Because yesterday, one thing I'll say about the Steve Parish thing is, you can be frustrated all you like, but personally abusing him is not going to help him. It's not going to help us. It's not going to help nobody.
Nope.
You get personally abusing Steve Parish. It's not going to think, oh, this guy called me. I don't know. Yesterday, there was someone called him fat, for example. I mean, with all due respect, if Steve Parish is, I mean, we're not. I'm like Steve.
Then me and you are fat, then, right?
I mean, if Steve Parish is fat, then I don't know what is fat. Right. But the memo is, don't abuse. Get frustrated all you like. Be Steve Parish out. Be Steve Parish in. But find the right words to use when you're expressing yourself. I feel like frustration yesterday took over some people, and it'll be interesting to see some of you. I know not everyone's on Twitter, but it'll be interesting to see what you guys think about the situation as well. But look, let's bring on Luca if he is here. Firstly, Luca, are you here? Hello. Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can, loud and clear.
Yeah, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on. Jefferson Lerma, let's start off with that. 3-year deal on a free transfer as well. Me and Patrick are happy, are you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's hopefully not the peak of the transfer window, but certainly a good way to start. As like you said, plenty of Premier League experience. He's got 30-odd caps for his country. I can't see... I think his wages will be roughly the same as at Bournemouth, which is about 45 grand. So, but yeah, I can see him coming in straight into that midfield, the Curry at the base, as they progressing more, and him kind of, like I said, more of a box to box.
Yeah, the fact that it's a free transfer, it gives us that flexibility to go and target other positions that we need as well, which is a positive in that aspect. But for you, when you look at the Corey and Eze, and you add Lerma there, do you think that is it now for our midfield? Do you want to see more additions to our midfield? Of course, we've got some academy players as depth options as well, or is that it?
I think certainly Miljevic and Maka leaving certainly. We certainly didn't need a midfielder. I think. We've got 7 now. We've got obviously him, Schlupp, Amada, Gyro, Eze, Doucouré. 7 midfield options should be enough. I'm sure we could, if we absolutely need to, probably like Jack Wells-Morrison from the academy. But overall,
Right.
I'd say, yeah, I'm happy with our midfield currently. We certainly need to. There's more pressing issues elsewhere on the pitch.
So talk about them pressing issues. What are the pressing issues for you?
Well, absolute certainty at right back. It's if it. I'm assuming that it is true now that we've renewed Ward, Klein, and Ferguson. I can't see the value in that. I keep keeping one of them. I would prefer Wardy personally, based off his frankly stellar showing towards the end of the season. But Klein's on big money for how little he's played, and at 33 or 34, I just don't see the value that he offers really anymore. I think we could. Him and Ferguson combined is nearly $100,000 a week. We could release those two and invest in. I've seen Sacha Bowie, even though I think Arsenal are closer to him. I've seen Livramento and Kyle Walker-Peters. I think Walker-Peters especially could be very decent for us. He's comparison to Ward. He's got a lot more pace on him, and he's a lot more dynamic down that right side. So you could have Elise cutting in and have that overlapping run on the right. So yeah, right back certainly. Centre back, I think I maybe would have preferred Tompkins to go and someone to bring in, but I think for another season he should be fine. And like you said, Patrick, a left winger, and the frustration around Clark really, because he's pretty much exactly what we need. He's
a good player.
He's a young, exciting player who did really well in the championship. We love signing for championship teams. They've had success with Elise, Gegehi, what season before was on loan at Swansea, Eze from QPR. We've had such success with those players. I think even if we paid 10 million for him, which is probably a little bit over the odds, but so if we can't pay that, and we're getting beaten by a newly promoted club. I just don't see why we can't go for him.
Yeah. Luke, about the wages, just to bring you up on that, I don't know if 100% if Ferguson and Klein would add up to nearly £100,000 a week, because I assume that Klein will be on a deal that's probably a bit less of money. Yeah, I don't even think he was on a high wages at Crystal Palace as well. And Ferguson, his reported wages, which I saw, was around like £5,000 to £10,000 a week. Of course, we don't know for certain, but I assume that the reason why the club probably got them both on another deals is due to the fact that, you know, that they're pretty cheap, so it wouldn't really impact our budget. I highly doubt that we'll sign them on high. I think I'll be shocked that if both of them combined will be anywhere near even £50,000 a week. I think it'll be way less than that as well.
Okay, fair enough. I was basing this because I've done a bit of research on this recently. I was basing it all off of Salary Sport, so that could be completely wrong. Some of these websites it can vary. Yeah. It can be crazy at times.
But hopefully they let's hope that they are on the cheaper deals, which I do think that they would be on. But then again, we still need another right back. It doesn't matter if they're on £100,000 a week or £50,000 a week. We still need a new right back. Why do you think it is that, you know, of course, we're the window hasn't even opened yet, probably. So we're using this dilemma. But according to Athletic, we don't want to sign another right back. Why do you think that is? Is there something that maybe we're not seeing? Is Joe Ward and Nathaniel Klein, you know, good enough for this level and that we maybe didn't see last season for them to perform consistently? Like, what is it? Do you see the club's perspective of things?
The only way I could see it from the club's perspective is purely on a cost level, because whilst yes, they've been reliable, and I mean, I think Klein was decent drafting in on a free as a bit of depth for Ward, but just, like I said, they're approaching their mid-30s. We're gonna need, if not now, then probably January or next summer, but it's just I think it's purely around cost, really.
Yeah, I agree. But then again, next summer we have to go for it again. Maybe we got a certain budget for this window, and then Next we know we've got another budget. But before you go, Luca, I don't know if you've seen it. Just get your thoughts on two things. First of all, what's your rating on the Lerma signing?
I think that's a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah. I think I agree, and lots of people in the chat will agree. And also, before you go, what did you? I don't know if you're on Twitter, but if you are, what did you make of all the? I don't know what the right word to use. All the madness that went on Twitter after West Ham won the Conference League. You'd think West Ham beat Crystal Palace, but that wasn't even the case. And there was lots of comments about why did we never progress, and why are we moving so tight? Like what did you make of those comments? Are you on Twitter?
I am on Twitter. Yeah, I was. I was watching the game, and I've got a couple of mates who are West Ham fans. I was happy for them, but I condone the abuse. What they're saying is just utterly horrible. It's the wrong way to go about it. But their core point is somewhat correct. Whilst yes, West Ham have a far bigger stadium than us and can presumably pay more for players. It's just we're not really seeing that. Well, I appreciate what Parish has done so far. It's stability in the Prem. It's eventually stadium redevelopment and Category 1 academy. The groundworks are there. I'm just not really seeing any real ambition in the market. It's if we were even Kyle Walker-Peters, I say would be a somewhat ambitious signing because he fits a lot more into our play style and would bring a lot more to the right spot. But it is difficult because he's done well to get us to where we are. But to see clubs around us, I saw a tweet that said like Burnley, Everton, Southampton, Wolves, Brighton. Now all these clubs now have gotten Europe before us. And even this season, Fulham finished top 10 easily within reach of Europe. Brentford were just a couple of wins away from Europe.
Right.
And obviously, Villa have done really well this season. Hate to say it, Brighton have done well this season. But just all these clubs are like just steaming ahead of us in terms of not only league position, but just the level of players targeting. I mean, Fulham apparently are targeting Fred from Man United, for Christ's sake. But it's... I get the frustration, I really do, and I'm kind of there with them. But I reckon it will happen eventually, just not yet.
Yeah, but to look at the other side of things as well, for those who are happy with Parish, they're saying, well, we're staying in the Premier League for 10 years. We're building an infrastructure right now. Well, we built a new academy facility, which we're seeing already the dividends from that in terms of, some of the quality that's playing there. We're trying to build a new stand. Do you understand where they're coming from as well? In terms of, that we are trying to go maybe this slower route, but trying to be a bit more financially stable rather than putting, risky moves and going in there and getting in trouble like that. Do you understand that? Slow and steady wins the race. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I absolutely do get that. And we've kind of come really shrewd in our transfer strategy, and we've had to be. But yeah, I do think we are, instead of, if you look at the clubs that have gone hell for leather, like Southampton, around this time their last summer transfer window, across the whole season they spent over like 120 million, and obviously Everton have spent loads and it hasn't worked out, and Wolves have spent loads and it didn't really pay off, and so and with Roy, it's been, we haven't spent all that much money, but we've been fairly safe the whole time. But yeah, I do think the shoe strategy has certainly paid off. But I think once we get that new stand in, hopefully sooner rather than later. But
yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Luca.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Luca. You make a great point about Southampton. Sitting here listening to you, but here's my thing, right? They did go for it and spent a lot of money, and now they're down. But my issue is that we've been in the league for 10 years. We've only got to show for it an FA Cup final, which we lost, an FA Cup semi-final that we lost, and then the 10th place that we got a few seasons ago. For me, that's not enough to show for 10 years. And my fear is that in a year or two, like Southampton, would be relegated, and what we have to show for it. So at least I will give Southampton credit. They actually went for it. Now they didn't get to any cup final in the last 10 years. They weren't. I believe they did. They definitely finished top 10. They had
But
that
they're not
League
Premier
Cup,
Club now, though.
No, I know they're not. That's my point. I mean, we might not be either. Is my point, D. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole point. Is that I don't want to follow the Southampton model of being in the league for that amount of time and not accomplishing anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't want to be Southampton.
I agree. I will call me a French fella, but I do agree with both sides. Whilst more spending and progression would be nice,
Right.
it's well.
You still there, Luca?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
This
This is a good point, by the way. You're right. They got to a Carabao Cup final. They did. And lost to Man United. So that was a great point. Thank you, Sid, for that. You're right. They did do that. So, but
yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting how you view. But sorry, go ahead, Luca. Sorry.
Yeah. In sum up in 2 words, it's frustratingly consistent. We've never finished with below 40 points. We never finished in the 50 points. We've been close, I think, once. We got 49, but we've always been between like 10th and 15th. We've never gone out of that bracket. It's always consistently. I think, and if I'd another quite is just we don't go for the cup competitions. I think we were knocked out by Coventry in recent years in the Carabao Cup, which is just ridiculous. We've easily got players to at least get to like the fifth round, but we just never. And that's the thing with Roy. He prioritizes pretty much only the league. We never. With the what we love is that we went for it in the cup competitions and it paid off, but just and besides the one freak top 10, that's it. It's
right.
Like I do see both sides. It's just.
Yeah, there's definitely not a right or wrong answer in this.
There isn't. I agree. There isn't.
Yeah, and both sides have it. But then again, I think all of this will be brushed aside if we have a good window. And this is a fantastic signing. Firstly, we have to give credit to them. Doug Friedman, I see Patrick pulling this off because as much as you can criticize them about some of the moves that's happened last season or this year, whatever, you have to give them credit for it. They pulled this off, and I think it's solid because Lerma had offers from abroad as well, and he chose Palace. He chose Palace without a manager, so we must have sold him a good plan. Now that plan coming to actual,
fruition.
Fruition. Yeah, for us to see. That's another thing to see. Like we will see, but I think it's a good move anyways. Getting Lerma. But look, Luca, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for calling into the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Take care. Yeah. Look, let's go through some of the comments here. If anyone is joining us now, send us your thoughts on the Lerma signing on a free transfer, 3-year deal, 28 years old. And if you guys want to call in, you can click on the pinned comment to join us live. Let's bring on Dan next, who's been waiting for a while. Dan, you there? I think Dan.
You there, Dan?
Someone. We'll bring on Dan in just a minute. That caught me off guard. I think he's blocked someone in the driveway. I think Dan is back. Is Dan back? Let's see. Dan, you there?
Yeah, sorry, lads. Give us 2 seconds. I've just got someone at the door.
No, that's
go back.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
fine.
That's fine.
No
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't expect that. In all honesty. But look, let me go through some of the comments. As always, if you're enjoying it, make sure to leave a like. People, only takes a second of your time, and it helps out massively. But Sib says we're on the cusp of being a regular top 10 Prem team. Feel like we're letting the chance slip away. I don't feel we're letting the chance slip away. I don't think that's the right term, but we're not taking a chance. It's like the food is ready. This is how I see it. The food is ready. It's a very nice meal. You got a nice meal.
Another
and all you have to do is, if you like salt, all you have to do is add a salt to it. The food is cooked. All you have to do is add salt to it, and then afterwards it'll be delicious. And that's why we need 2 other players. I think the 2 other players.
Stop. Salt, no. Seasoning. You don't have to put salt on food, bro. You got to put season.
It depends on what you're having. Let's just say salt. Some people don't have seasoning on their food, innit?
Are you a cook? You cook at the kebab shop, or you don't cook? You just.
I don't.
You cook there.
Funny to assume that I flip it and work at kebab shop.
You
But,
do. You know, we all know.
no, I
You, doesn't
don't.
your father
No, I
run
don't.
one? Or no?
He runs one. Doesn't mean I flipping work at kebab.
I asked if you. I asked if you ever cooked there. Is my point. I said you. I know you
Nah.
worked there for a fact. You've told me you worked there
Nah.
on and off. When your father, come on, stop acting like you never worked at the shop before. Cut it out, man.
Not
But
like
obviously
that,
you're not a real
like
cook.
I never
though.
cooked.
You're not a
I
cook,
never
though.
cook. I never cook. I never cook, bro.
Clearly, because you don't put salt on food, bruv. You don't. That's not
Some
you
people
season
do,
food.
bro. Some people don't even put salt. Some people have food. If you're joining us live,
In the
we're not
chat,
sort of
in the
future,
chat,
yeah.
can somebody please explain to D how you're supposed to cook food and not just put salt on it, please? Anybody in chat? who's a
Bro,
cook?
I didn't say that. I just used salt as an example. Maybe some people put salt to have their food nice.
High blood
Me,
pressure. That's a
I
bad
prefer
example.
seasoning. Yeah, I prefer
Oh,
seasoning.
sorry.
But
Okay. Yeah.
I prefer
Never
seasoning.
mind.
I prefer
Never mind.
seasoning. But some people, bro, they don't like seasoning. Like you might do, some
Okay.
people don't. But I'm pretty sure everyone likes a bit of salt, I guess. But anyways,
Okay.
that's my whole point about the whole matter. It's the fact
Sorry,
that
I
all we
take
have to
that.
do, the food is cooked. The food is cooked. All we have to do is now just, add that little bit of salt or season or whatever you want to do. And then we're fine. We can eat it. It's a delicious meal. But that's the little thing that's missing in our squad.
Okay, here we go. Ash, thank you. Oh, I got two here. One, seasoning is key. Thank you. Sibs, by the way,
I
gotta
agree,
come on the
bro. I have
show.
seasoning.
Great,
I have
great
seasoning on
takes.
my
Great
food.
takes. And then layer seasoning when cooking. I mean, come on, Ash knows, man. You don't know how to cook, man. Gosh, you don't know. You just put
Bro,
salt
it's
on
not
food.
me. You might be offending
It's dangerous.
some people who don't,
Salt is bad for. It's too much salt. Is
yeah, I
bad for
know,
your health.
but some people like. Anyways, let's move on from the salt. Me, I prefer seasoning. Me personally, but not everyone does.
But
Not everyone
never
does.
mentioned it. Just mentioned salt, by the way. Never mentioned
The reason
seasoning,
why I
so
use
said it.
salt as an example, we got a broad fan base. There's people from all over the world, listening.
We do. We appreciate that. Yeah.
Well. Exactly. We appreciate all of you as well. And some people may not even know what seasoning is.
And here we go. Nailed it. Nailed it. Heimdall. Great. Good ball knowledge. Terrible cooking knowledge. I agree.
They're talking about you.
That's
They're talking about you. They're talking about me.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on from this. But let's bring on Dan next. Whilst we wait for Dan, we'll talk about salt and seasoning. Dan, you there? You there, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then. We're talking about salt and seasoning. Before we actually continue about Jefferson Lerma, what do you prefer? Are you a bit of a seasoning guy? Do you put salt on your food or nothing at all? You froze.
You stunned there.
I shocked him. I shocked him. That's like, oh yeah, exactly. Well, Dan, you back? Did you hear what I said? Can you hear us, Dan? This is brilliant. All right, we're gonna try to bring you on, Dan. We're gonna try to bring you on and just
look at Alex. Alex in the chat. Alex is hilarious. Look at Alex.
Yeah.
Bring Alex on. Bring Alex on. I'm Alex.
Bring Alex.
Salt is key, Pat.
Yeah, exactly. Look, this is what I meant. Me personally, Alex,
you guys could not cook for me ever. I would not eat your food. If you're gonna put salt in your food,
I'm a seasoned person. But look, we have people all over the world. Some people prefer salt. But look, Alex.
But salt is part of the seasoning. That's the whole point. It's part. It's not the only thing to put on. It's part of it.
What?
Pepper, paprika, etc. You don't just put salt on food. That's not healthy. I'm sorry, it's not.
I know it's not healthy, but it's delicious. Go on, Alex.
Can't hear you, Alex.
Yeah, Alex,
Yeah,
you sound like.
Sorry.
Yeah, you sound crazy robotic right now. We should probably you might put salt on your microphone. Try and sort out your microphone, and we'll bring you on. We'll bring you on. I think your microphone sounds pretty robotic. Okay. For those of you that are joining us live, yes, we are going to talk about Jefferson Lerma. You joined us like 43 minutes after, and we got into a bit of seasoning salt debate. But look, let's try to bring on Dan again. Third time lucky, fourth time lucky, Dan. Can you hear us?
Hello, mate. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right. We won't try to break your connection once again. But before we actually talk about, someone just said it's mayonnaise seasoning. That's bonkers. But before we talk about Jefferson Lerma, are you more of a salt person, or do you like other seasoning on your food, or you don't like anything? Like, what are you before we go into Lerma?
That's a random question, man. Mayo. I'm a big mayo fan, mate. Me.
Big mayo fan.
Yeah.
You can't go with mayo. Yeah, mayo over ketchup, and that's how.
Wait. Sorry, isn't mayo a condiment, not a seasoning? We're gonna get. Isn't that kind of like
yeah,
ketchup?
yeah, true, yeah,
Alright, just
true.
checking.
But you know, to help things process these people, and
Yeah,
I'm
no
pretty sure
worries.
Dan talked about joined us to talk about Lerma, not talk about seasoning and what he cooks for his dinner.
All right, let's
But
refocus.
Dan,
Sorry.
yeah, let's refocus. Jefferson Lerma, 3-year deal on a free transfer. What do you make of it all? Fantastic signing for me, but are you happy?
Mate, I feel that's a major step forward for the club, a big signing. You know, as my friend said to me, you know, like I watch football, like I'm just football mad. I just love to watch football, and he's vastly impressed at Bournemouth, and to get him on a free deal, like Bournemouth paid near on 27 million pound for him, to get him on a free deal, I think that's a fantastic coup for the club.
Yeah, I agree. So in terms of our midfield, where do you see him fitting in? Do you see him as like a number 6 next to Doucouré? Can he play as a number 8?
In my eyes, the midfield's complete. The midfield is totally complete now. That's Lerma, Doucouré, and Eze. You know, both of them can do the holding position. They can both switch. You know, they both can win the ball. As we see from Doucouré before, he's a ball winning midfielder. You know, Lerma's the creativity there. You know, and Eze can just have that free role to do as he pleases. You know, and hopefully, if we keep Zaha and Elise, then I feel we're possibly 1-2 positions away from a European spot.
So what are those positions that you're talking about?
Centre forward, I feel we've been linked with.
I think we're losing you again, Dan, for your connection. Patrick, can you hear me right? Just to make sure it's nothing on our end.
I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's Dan's connection. Dan, are you still there? I think it froze on you once again. He was spitting. He was doing well until we talked about next position. But yeah. But
Hey,
Dan,
D, you know what I
yeah,
realized? I
we'll bring
forgot
him
to
back.
mention a left
Yeah.
back option behind Mitchell. You know,
I
I've let
think
that
that's
go
not
in
really
my mind. It's not going
that's
to
not
be
really
up
a
addressed,
problem.
is it? Yeah.
No,
I mean,
no,
it is if
but
he's...
it technically is addressed if you count Adam Marola. That's
Oh
why
yeah,
that
of
one is.
course. You
Yeah.
know how I feel about that. I'm saying if it's not Adam Marola, then we have to address it. He can't be Mitchell all season in and out of form. It can't happen if he gets injured again. You know, you're putting Ward back there. I mean, I guess that's why we decided Ward and Klein, because they can both, you know, play left back in a pinch. But that's not. Anyway, so yeah, but that would be the other thing I thought about was a left back backup, but that's not going to happen. Yeah, Lewis Hall on
But I'm
loan would be
talking
great.
about starting 11. Oh,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm talking about starting 11 position. So yeah, for me, I don't
understand.
consider left
I
back
got
there
you.
right now because
I got you.
Should we try everyone? Alex next. I think his connection might still be jumping. Let's see. Let's try it. Alex, you there?
Am I robot?
Nah. You sound
Okay,
much
good.
better. You sound much better.
I think it
You
was
said
my headphones. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be in your headphones. You say salt is
Yeah.
key, Pat. Before we get into Lerma, you can respond, Patrick, Alex.
No, in the chat, they're tired of the cooking. When like this right here. Here you go. All right. We're not doing the new chicken. Let's move on to the Lerma. Let's move on. Appreciate it.
That'll be
very funny though. Good job there.
This is my favorite digression. Yeah.
Well, this is what happens when Paddy's playing. I kind of enjoy the cooking more than Paddy's at times. Even though I don't cook, it sounds exciting. Maybe we could do a segment every Sunday. What do we cook? Or do a live cooking challenge. But Alex, forget about the cooking for just a second. Let's talk about the cooking that we're doing off the pitch with the Lerma signing, because I do think
I'm feeling it. Yeah.
It's a very nice signing. What do you make of it?
I think he's mostly going to be playing the 8, but I would love to see him and Doucouré almost intersperse that. I know I heard double pivot, but I think either one of them can play the pivot from what I can tell. I love Lerma. It's I don't know how we got him, honestly.
That's what I said.
Exactly. No coach, and we got him.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so he must like the other players around us. So I'm excited about that. I think in the chat I was asking about Ahamada because I honestly don't know if he should start to try to play the attack or try to learn left or right back, because I feel like there's too many midfielders right now. I don't
Alex,
see how he gets on the field.
But Alex, your point about why did he sign is actually, you have to think about, that's why I get frustrated, because the man just signed when we don't know who our manager is going to be, and we were 11th last season, and we'll find out be resigning. We do have, there is a big attraction to Crystal Palace, more than people understand, and that's why we should really be doing better, because a player like Lerma on a free is a really good signing, especially what we need, and the fact that he came here is really good. But to me, it just shows me again how we need to kind of push forward other signings, because there is a pull to Palace that people don't really understand. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So,
London is a big
London,
yeah,
yeah,
maybe I'm just being
right.
pessimistic. Yeah, like
Right.
I'm not saying that there isn't a pull. It's just like kind of I don't know. I feel like the negativity of the fan base is kind of bringing me down a little bit. So maybe I'm getting like a poorer feeling about it, and I need to stop using Twitter or something. I don't know.
Oh, so you do Twitter? Yeah, Alex, I was going to ask
Yeah.
you about that. Twitter, there's been a meltdown I think it's been 24 hours now. Well, there was a meltdown until Lerma signed, and I think it was a perfect timing to calm everyone down because it was literally burning. That's how I would describe it.
I don't know how we made it about us. It's freaking West Ham's tournament. They did a great job. Like, that's all you need to say. It's not about you, is how I feel.
I think the reason why people made it about us is you look at West Ham as a side that is one London rival. Second of all, a team that is not known for winning trophies like that. I think the last trophy that they won is 40 years ago, and they've won it. And then it raises a question about what other teams have done as well. And then all of a sudden, when you combine everything together, then you have Palace Twitter absolutely exploding, and Steve Parish even going on Twitter as well at the same time, which honestly, our club is funny at times. You can say that. Like, there's always entertainment.
I like
especially
this.
We have a chairman that's on Twitter. But we'll talk about that in just a second. About the midfield situation now. Do you think that is it? The midfield is complete, and if it is, what other positions do you want to see next?
I honestly, and I've seen it in the chat, somebody who can play both sides, like a Kyle Walker-Peters or something like that, rather than just focusing on right back. How about a fullback? And then we can try to decide, because obviously we tried to do it with Richards and it didn't really work. The few times that we put him in at left back, he was so much better in the center of the field. But some players are just better at doing that, and I'm sure there's more than just. He's the only one I can think of, Kyle Walker-Peters. Can you guys think of others? I know they exist.
Ola Aina was one way back we were linked with that can play left and right back, but there aren't a lot. It's a very exactly.
I mean, Sasha Bowie is the main one, but it seems like Galatasaray won around, if it's true, around 25 million euros or pounds. So let's say we can
think a top 16 is going to go for him.
And I think that's the interesting thing. It depends on how much you're willing to spend on a right back. And right now, when you sign Nathaniel Klein and Joe Wood on new deals, you assume that the right back position is not going to be priority. So let's say, of course, we're doing ifs and buts here, but let's say we did sign a striker next, and that is it. We didn't sign another right back. Would you still be happy with that?
Yeah, I think like you guys said, I think striker is most important next. I honestly don't see us only getting two people. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, even last year we weren't that active and we got 4 positions and they all played at some point. I guess Ebue kind of played, but he's only 18. I think that we'll figure some things out, but I am a little worried about the lack of ambition to go for like a bigger signing, like to go for like a Benteke deal or something like that. You might need about 30 million to get a striker, and if we're trying to get a striker like for the cheap, I just don't see that as a good option.
Yeah, some of the strikers, apart from Gyökeres, some of the strikers that we've been linked with is not really the most exciting. I don't know about you, Patrick, if you agree with me on that, but look, it doesn't matter what the papers say. Yeah, it doesn't matter what the papers say. It matters about what business we do. At the end of the day, I've said this time and time again for everyone that watches live Palace news. It's all speculation that we discuss. We all love Palace, so we want to keep up to date with everything. Jefferson Lerma, it did happen. That's something that we discussed. It's not like everything that we discuss doesn't happen. But some of the names that we've been mentioning, maybe the club looking at other options that we just don't know about as well. But yeah, Guy Chris, the Athletic, reported as well. We have an outside chance, which is not really that optimistic. But if Mateta and Edward leave, then it makes it even more interesting because surely you need 2 strikers then.
Who's taking Edward? Like, I get Matata could go because he's on lower wages. Who's going to take Edward's wages? Is my issue.
I don't know. Well, thankfully, we don't have to talk about that in depth now because literally Jefferson Lerma was signed. But yeah, that's another question. Literally, you do take some of these players. You do, I don't know, maybe another Premier League club or team that's playing in Europe. Maybe they take a gamble because he's done well. Eduardo wasn't.
I'm not saying it's impossible to sell him. I've seen Mateta linked with people, and I haven't seen anybody going for Edward yet.
Not one. Yeah. You're right.
So for Lerma, what do you rate it out of 10?
Oh, I 9. 9 out of 10.
9.
Nice.
I said in the chat, he's my favorite player on Bournemouth because he's a fighter. Like, he's not so like a fighter in the defense, but he will fight for the ball. He will get things moving, and he's going to mix things up. He's a physical player, like, especially offensively. Like, you don't really want to mess with him. I guess we tried to mess with him, and we succeeded. I haven't seen another team do that.
I can't wait for the Erkin Madison and Lerma video in training. I can't wait for that. For July the 1st.
Yeah.
Release the x-rays. I don't think he broke his nose. Release the x-rays.
Well, we'll see. It'll be good if Palace actually sat them down and release a video. It'll be hilarious. Well, look, Alex, I really appreciate your time, and I hope we can catch up with you again soon.
Thank you, Alex.
I'm more excited to see what happens with our coach, just to let you know that.
That's interesting. It's been quiet, but maybe after this we can talk about the coach. Hopefully there's something gets announced there. But yeah, it's interesting. All right then, Alex.
Thanks as always. Thanks. Thanks, Patrick.
Take care, Alex. Take care, buddy.
Let's bring
Stevie,
on
before you bring Tim on. That's he made a great point, Alex, about favorite players of other teams. Who's your favorite Bournemouth player? I actually have one now that he said that. It wasn't Lerma, by the way.
Yeah, it wasn't Lerma as well. It probably like Billing or Solanke. Well, if you're talking about potentially having a Palace, we need a striker. I would have took a gamble on Solanke.
Interesting. Mine is Dango Ouattara, the kid they got from that kid on the it's brilliant. He's that's my favorite player, but Lerma is probably my second favorite. But that's a great call about the favorite player. But when I looked at their squad just now, Ouattara stands out for me. He's a really good player. Yeah.
Before we actually bring up, because Oll's been waiting before Tim as well. If you guys want to call into the show, click on the pinned comment. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to not miss out future Palace content. Let's bring on Dan again. I wanted Dan to finish his point because his connection is messing him up. Dan, you there? 5th time lucky.
Yeah, mate.
All right, then.
Sorry.
Where was he at last? I can't remember.
Basically, I said we're 2 players short of a European.
Go ahead.
European venture,
So what place?
I feel centre forward and the right back needs to be addressed. We've been talking about Max Aarons, and Max Aarons hasn't had a shout in ages. I don't know whether he was that good or whether he was that bad, but I feel Max Aarons could be a potential right back. And I know we've been linked with Rodrigo today from Leeds as well for £3 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd love to get him.
Yeah. He got his relegation
release clause. Bargain.
Yeah.
Is that the clause? 3 million?
Yeah, £3 million.
So, yeah.
Wow. Oh, he's going to get snapped up by a top 10 side. Has to be. Wow.
Yeah. I feel if we address them 2 positions, I feel that we got a European dream going.
Interesting. European dream.
I have a
European dream.
League Cup dream. I just have a League Cup dream right now. I don't care about Europe. League Cup dream.
Yeah,
I want to win the league.
Yeah, give me a Sunday league.
One
trophy.
step at a
Give me
time.
everything. Give me anything at this
Let's
rate.
do
Give
it,
me
Luke.
anything. I'll celebrate like we won the World Cup. But Dan, before we, just in case your connection goes once again, what do you rate the Lerma signing out of 10?
I'll give it a solid 8. You know, I'd rather
Nice.
have had Philip Billing, if I'm being honest. But
wow, okay.
but Lerma, I feel fits the puzzle complete.
Yeah, it does. Dan, I feel your connection is about to go again because there's a little jump there. But so before we lose it, I actually want to say a proper goodbye. Really appreciate your time, Dan. Hopefully we catch up with you again soon.
Cheers, Dan. Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very
then,
much.
take care.
Nice
Take
seeing
care.
you, Patrick. Yeah,
No worries.
welcome back.
You too, buddy. Take care. This is
See
insane.
you
If this
later.
is true, I can't believe this. 3 million for him. I know he's 32, but I don't
the
care.
age side
That's
of
a
things,
steal.
but, yeah, even for one season. 3 million
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
get Sasha Bowie spend the 25 million on Sasha Bowie and then
There
next
you go,
season we're gonna
King.
get a striker. Exactly.
Right.
Let's bring on O next, who's been waiting for a while. Oh, how you doing?
Hello.
How you doing? Is everything fine? Enjoying the
Yeah.
weather?
I don't go out much, but yeah, it's decent.
Well, yeah, at least the sun's out there. Let's just say that. So Jefferson Lerma signing for Palace on a free deal, on a 3-year deal as well. So positive there, free on a 3-year deal. What do you make of it all?
I mean, it's exciting one. One I would have liked. I can't remember the last South American player to play for us. Not counting
Right.
that those 2 goalkeepers, Perry and Calavari was his name.
Right.
Well, let me actually stop you there and throw the question over to
Mi-
Patrick. Do you know your Palace players? When was the last time a South American player? Well, actually, we do.
I think I know.
Everybody knows it. It's
Yeah, I
Andre
think I know.
Moritz.
Everyone
Are
knows.
you mad?
Yeah,
Moritz, you out of your mind.
Yeah.
It's Andre Moritz,
Not even
mate.
just
Are you
that.
joking?
Jules as well.
What?
You know,
Yo, Jules was Moritz was after
Oh,
Jules,
right.
so I mean, yeah, but of course Jules are Argentine. I'm just saying it's got to be Moritz.
Oh, we're
who's the
talking about
last
signing.
president.
Yeah, Maurice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Fair
but of
enough,
course
fair
the
enough.
best
So-
one is Jules. I mean, obviously, so
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to test if Patrick knows his Palace stuff.
yeah, we're having Palace trivia in the middle of our show.
Palace
Great.
trivia, exactly.
Get-
Sorry,
your Moritz,
go ahead.
get your Moritz out for the lads.
Yeah.
That's all.
Sorry, yeah, continue.
Anyway,
Oh,
anyway,
Best chant
about
ever.
Lerma.
Best chant ever. That was, yeah.
anyway, I love the signing. Bournemouth's Player of the Year this season, I do believe. Can play. I think can he play anywhere on the midfields? Like it can. It'll mean Decore
Yeah.
can run.
He
Decore can run up forward a bit more. I do
Yes.
believe.
So he's played as like a number 6. There's a video that's going to be posted tomorrow. Where I spoke to a Bournemouth fan about it to get all the insights about it. So tomorrow, even around 5:30, that'll be posted. So he can play. He's played as a number 6, but potentially can play as a number 8 as well. This season, he scored 5 goals, which is encouraging as well because maybe we need a bit more goals from midfield. And if you could do that, that would be a good addition as well. So yeah, he can play everywhere. But so in terms of our midfield, do you think that is it now? Are you happy with our midfield as it stands?
I wouldn't be against one more, but if it is, I'm not too fussed about it. I mean,
Yeah.
I prefer a fullback and a striker. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And what do you rate the signing out of 10?
8.
8, yeah, solid. We've been having a few 8s so far. 8s, I think someone said a 9 as well. So nothing below it. An 8 has come so far. Yeah, I agree. And in terms of next signing, who do you want to see in terms of positions that you want the club to improve on?
Oh wait, if that Rodrigo 3 million release clause is true, then I would like us to be all over that.
Yeah, it was very solid for Leeds as well, and only £3 million, and you know that we should be all over. Literally, that does basically nothing for a Premier League club.
Right.
Well, you assume so, anyways. Maybe his wages might be high, which would be interesting there. But £3 million is worth it. But any Palace memes come in? You know, I'd love to ask you this question. Maybe a Lerma special. Oh, this is perfect. It has to be a
Paris
Lerma
one.
and Anderson. No,
Oh.
Lerma and Anderson.
Yeah.
You know,
this is the ideal scenario.
I had this thought in my head, like, what made this signing announcement better if it was a Rocky montage
Yeah, oh, that's
Bro,
brilliant.
yeah.
I
Well,
know,
you-
I like
I know Anderson's can't. I know Anderson's not there because he's probably on holiday. But
Yeah,
He
he's
is,
on
yeah.
holiday. I don't think he's gonna end his holiday to come back to do an announcement video for another player. I know some people would have liked that, but let's be realistic. I don't think that was ever going to happen. If I'm on holiday after a long season, I don't think I'm going to come back for. I'll just hang up the phone and Palace call me. Until July, anyways. Until July. But yeah, well, it's the ball's in your court. Let's see. If you do it, I'll be happy. And I think you'll make a lot of people happy because you are creative when it comes down to that. But look, really appreciate your time. And hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon. Talk about another signing.
Yeah, hopefully.
yeah, Palace in general.
Yeah, exactly.
That too.
Yeah, exactly. Or a new manager. That counts as well. anything, any other news. Exactly. All right, then. Take care.
Cheers, all.
Bye.
Appreciate it, man. Take care.
That was all having to say. Let's bring on Tim next. Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Patrick, good to see you, man.
Hello, Tim. How are you, mate? I love having you on the channel, man. You've been great. Appreciate you.
It's just good to have you back. No, I'm good, man. I'm good. I am I'm feeling good. I love the Lerma signing, and I posted, what was it? I can't keep the days straight. I thought I'm a little more
You're not the only one.
positive on where we are. But I like the Lerma signing a lot because I think it gives us a lot of flexibility. I think you've got a fearless midfielder who's experienced, who has the ability to get forward. He's got a little bit of pace. He's different than Decore, but he's also tough like Decore. So I think it's a great midfield pair who can play off of each other. So, man, I like that a lot. It gives you Hughes coming off the bench. That's fantastic. I know we need more, but that's a hell of a start.
Yeah, very good signing, and it's one that we expected as well. So I don't think any of us are surprised about it. I think our next signing will probably be more interesting, a bit more. I wouldn't say exciting, but maybe a bit more lively because it will probably be a shock for our next signing. Because right now we don't know who our next signing is going to be. And
hey, Rodrigo, man, we got breaking news: £3 million for Rodrigo.
That's a shout.
That's
and he can. Someone said in the chat, can he play left wing? He can't play left wing, by the way. So if that's a 3, I don't care about his age. That would be an absolutely steal. That's like a Lerma. That's almost Lerma-like, seriously.
1,000,000%. If you can get him, if you can actually get him for $3 million, that would be insane.
Outstanding, yeah.
Yeah, it can. But going back to Lerma and talking about our midfield, you did say that there's a few options coming off the bench as well. But for our starting 11, that has to be it, right? Where do we go for next? Which position do you want to see us strengthen the most?
See, this is where I want to understand. Like, I agree with all the comments about you got to know who the manager is. I really want to know who the manager is so that we have some understanding of how youth plays a role. Because I don't think you can figure out how youth is going to play a role next year until you know who the manager is. You really don't have any idea.
100%. Yeah.
And I think it's really important to figure out what we're like. I hear it, and you made some really good comments about this, D, on the right back. I want us to recruit a right back too. But if you're going to get Wardy and you're going to get Klein, and that's what it looks like it's going to be, then I need to know, like, does that mean we're going to try to give Rodney some amount of minutes and try to grow him over the next 2 seasons into a starting right back? I have no idea. And I'm not saying we should do that. Please understand, I'm not saying we should do that. I'm saying that's something that could happen, but we don't know who the manager is. Now, I think the thing we all agree, because we have eyes, we can see that we need a striker. Like, we 1,000,000% need a striker, somebody who is dangerous in the box and can put away a cross. That's just, for the past several seasons, it's been too long. I mean, you can deliver. Michael Elise can deliver as many balls into the box as he wants. If there isn't somebody in that box to put the ball away, it's a shrug emoji. I don't know what to say. So you have to have a striker. So if we've got this 30 million from John Texter, if we are going to sell, let's say Mateta, and let's say we get, I'm making up a number. Let's say we get 9 million pounds. Let's say we get our money back. I mean, that may be optimistic, but let's say it happens. Can you put 30 million into an up-and-coming striker? Not a complete striker, but an up-and-coming striker who could put the ball away. I think you could do that.
Yeah, quality striker. First of all, strikers don't come cheap, and strikers are weird.
No, they're expensive, man. Yeah.
Yeah, strikers are weird because, I mean, a striker could be scoring 25 goals in a championship, and then he comes to the Premier League and he just can't score a goal. Like, he can't.
Yeah, can't find the net.
We've seen it. We've seen it firsthand in terms of Dwight Gale. Now, he wasn't awful in the Premier League, but in the Championship, he was Haaland of the Championship. He will always score goals. But when he comes to the Premier League, he didn't, do the same. And I think he was a very interesting position.
He was Mateta before Mateta, because we all remember Dwight Gale for Cristanbul. That's what we remember him for. He's the moments striker. He's Mateta before Mateta, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So in terms of striker, do you have any names out there that you think of, that you'd like to see at Palace?
Well, I know who I want, who I can't get. Like, I really want Folarin Balogun, and I know I can't get him.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I want him, but I know we can't get him because we can't pay enough to. Yep. Arsenal's going to want way too much for him, and they're not going to play him. They're either going to loan him out or they're going to sell him to a team other than us for 40 million pounds plus.
At least, yeah.
At least, yeah. So you're going to probably end up in the realm of Gyökeres or a championship striker.
There's a shout.
Akpom. Yeah, there's Akpom, who is I might have my age wrong here, Isaac, but he's either 28 or 29. I think that's and this has been his breakout season, and he hadn't really had a breakout season before this point. I mean, I don't doubt Chuba Akpom's skill, but like, am I wrong that this is his 20 plus goal season, and before then he really hasn't hit at this level?
So he's 20. He's 27. He had 28 goals in 38 matches. Season before, he was in Greece. He scored 2 goals in 10. He scored 5 in 24 in Greece. Then before then, he scored 5 in 38 in Championship. You nailed it. This is by far his breakout season. It's not even close.
So I mean, it's hard to spend real money on somebody who has that kind of record. And then and here's the other thing. Somebody said the other day here that strikers are a crapshoot. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get. And so this is the other thing. If strikers are a crapshoot and we've got great wingers and we've got creativity in the midfield, do you want to concentrate your spend on getting good wingers and running like a 4-4-2? I'm not saying we should, but I want a great striker. I don't know if we're going to be able to get one, and I don't think you can rely on youth to come in and be a number one striker, even though I know we have a lot of striking talent in the academy. Yeah. So it's hard right now.
Yeah, I think personally, we have to get a striker. One way or another, we have to get a striker. If he's not a right back, if right back's not a priority, we can't end the window with just bringing in a replacement if Wilf was to leave.
No way.
And then calling that's not good enough. Last season we didn't spend enough, where we could have potentially spent more, and then we go into this season where we're expecting a bit more to be spent. Not a crazy amount, but a striker needs to be done, and hopefully it is a quality one, and hopefully we build on that because we have got creative players around it. But unfortunately, the two strikers that we've had, forget about even scoring goals. At times they their hold-up play, their link-up play is just not good enough. There's like the fundamentals, they're just not good enough. And if Mateta and Edward were better with the hold-up play, maybe we do create a bit more chances or score a few more goals. But even that, like, you have to have something from your strikers, and we just didn't have that. So as long as we get a striker that can hold up the ball pretty well and bring them in, and let's start there. And then hopefully they can score goals as well. That'd be fantastic, because Elise got 11 assists without us having any good strikers past season.
I mean, the profile, I think the frustrating thing for me about Mateta is physically he's the right profile, except the man, for whatever reason, cannot jump and can't get his head on the ball to save his life. I don't know why, but you could have a Christian Benteke like profile and not be Christian Benteke and have to pay Christian Benteke money. But I do want that kind of, I want somebody who, not to use an NBA term here, but maybe the finals are on my mind here, and I'm in Denver and the Nugs are playing and they have a chance to win a championship. So
do you watch NBA?
I love the NBA. And
what team do you follow?
I'm historically
Nuggets.
Yeah, I'm historically a Celtics fan, but I'm here in Denver.
Celtics.
I mean, Patrick, look, man, I'm of the era where I got to see Larry Bird play live, and I
did too, by the way, versus the Knicks, and he killed the Knicks. So I know exactly where you're coming from with that. Larry Bird was a Larry legend.
Go Spurs, go. That's what I have to say.
I get it.
Spurs. But anyway,
Tottenham. You're a Tottenham fan. You're a Tottenham fan.
Quiet, Patrick. Before people actually figure, we're talking about NBA. If you just join, I don't support the.
That's your second team, D. You're a Tottenham fan. Second team is Tottenham.
To be fair, I don't know if that'll be upgrade or downgrade on Palace, because both teams don't win the trophy anyways.
Excellent point. Excellent point.
But what I want in a striker, let me finish this point here. I want somebody who can fill it up. Like, I want somebody who gets into the box, fills up the box, and is a nuisance, and is enough of a threat in the air that they're going to get some goals. So if Elise is able to put the ball in the box and that person is a threat, then you have one of a few different options. You can get a penalty, you can get a goal off a header, you can create a scramble that leads to a messy goal. Like, there's a million things that can happen if you create a nuisance in the box. And So
here's the thing, though. Bottom 10 sides. Name that. Not that we can get. Name that striker in the bottom 10 side right now. Even the renegade side. Name a bottom 10 striker bottom 10 team that has a striker like that.
The closest I can get to that, I mean, and maybe it's just because I have Bournemouth on the mind, is Solanke at Bournemouth.
Fair.
But he is unbelievably inconsistent and doesn't score anywhere near enough. But he is big. He does fill it up. He's decent at his feet. And if you give him a ball in the box, he can cause you some problems. But he's nowhere near consistent enough.
Antonio, maybe West Ham, possibly also.
Possibly.
Yeah. Even
it's
him,
tough though. It's tough to find name that team, name that player because.
Well, I think that's the main difference maker though. You look at Fulham, they're in the top 10. They got Mitrovic, Brentford,
Mitrovic.
Tottenham have Kane.
Keep going.
Villa
keep going.
So exactly, Villa have.
And that's why they're top 10 sides.
Yep.
Brighton.
They got Ferguson now. I mean, before Ferguson, they really didn't have anybody, but they had Ferguson now. So before that, they really didn't have anybody. So
they were relying on Welbeck, who was that kind of a little bit like that kind of striker, but also incredibly inconsistent.
But basically, the majority of the teams in the top 10, if you look at it, have a very good striker.
Yeah.
Yep.
In comparison to teams in the bottom 10. So that's like the main difference maker. And maybe that's what Palace are thinking. But for me, Tim, you know how I feel. But I feel like we should have gone with the right back situation. We should have improved that as well as the striker. I don't want any other positions desperately into starting 11. We got Lerma on the free. All we have to do is strengthen 2 positions. So it'd be nice to have a solid striker and also right back. And like that, we would have had well, we still can. We still don't know if it's happening or not. Maybe we still do sign another right back, and maybe Parish changes his mind. According to our Athletic report, anyways, it seemed like it's not going to be on the top of our list. But maybe we do sign it. But as long as we sign 2 positions, I think that's where we kick on. And if we bring in that quality striker as well as a solid right back, then why shouldn't this team not finish in the top 10? There's literally nothing stopping them. We got the talent.
I fully agree. Again, depends on the manager. I do expect. I don't know if we're going to get the signings we want at those 2 positions, but I am thinking we will see more signings. And I only just want to say this. We are a club that we do not have, of the clubs that finished where we finished at 11th, we're the one that has the least structural advantages except for the academy. We're the one that has the least in terms of structural advantages.
What about Bournemouth?
Bournemouth has a billionaire, but Bournemouth has a billionaire as their owner.
They do.
They have
Blitzer.
They don't have the ability to come in and soak up and buy up ownership that gives them more control. They don't have that because Steve Parrish set it up that way. They cannot buy more control. Textor can't buy more control. And I personally do want it that way. I don't want, I could be 100% jaded here because I've been doing the work that I do on just studying companies for so long. I understand those of us who are fans who want to win stuff, who are saying, I don't care. Give me the sugar daddy. I am promising you, be careful what you wish for. You don't know what you're saying because I have seen what this can do to companies and to teams. It destroys them from the inside out. And so what I think that Steve Parrish is trying to do, even though it's slow, like building something that is self-sustaining so that irrespective of who the owners are and how much they're willing to invest, you can build something that gives you a way to just keep competing and keep growing. That's what I want because I care about the club and I don't want us to be like if we get into a situation where the owner is in trouble, then as a team, we're in trouble. I don't want that for Palace ever again. So yeah, I'm being way too conservative, D. I really am. I know that I am. I'm being way too conservative, but I believe in this approach, and I do think that we have the talent. I think we can get a couple of decent signings and kick on. It's going to take a while to generate real income from the academy, but once we do that, like let me make this last point, and I'll leave you with this. You know why Chelsea's not going to get in FFP trouble this year, even though they should? And it's bananas that they're actually talking about buying players. Like we all have seen what Chelsea did. We're like, how in the hell can they buy players right now? Here's the reason why. Over the last several years, more than anybody else, and it's not even close, the amount of player trading profit that Chelsea has been able to generate is orders of magnitude bigger than anybody else. And the reason for that is because of Cobham. That's why.
Their academy,
the academy. Yeah, I guess academy will pay off over. I don't know. It's going to be a while yet.
It's hard.
Properly. Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be hard there. But
and it's this fine balance.
Yeah, I know that you're not on social media, Tim, so you probably didn't see it. But have you heard about what went on Twitter yesterday?
I mean, it's to me. Can I speak honestly about this? Yeah. I think it's a disgrace. I think it's a disgrace the attacks that Parrish took yesterday from fans. I think that's disgraceful because look, no, we're not West Ham. We don't have the structural advantage of the City of London gifting us a 90,000 seat stadium, which they gifted to West Ham. We don't have that. So, okay, it's not the same, but I mean, look, the man has done good work. Could you disagree with the way he's treating, take some of his approach? Of course you can. But the way this has gone down it pisses me off, D. I don't like it. I think it's wrong. I think we're a great club. And maybe I'm just I get bent out of shape about this because I love the club. I think any manager would be lucky to manage Crystal Palace. And I have red and blue colored glasses on. So I am totally biased in this scenario. But I mean, honestly, we're a good club in good shape. We have good players. We have a history of players who love having played for Crystal Palace. They speak great about the club. The community built around this club is incredible. So I'm sorry, get a freaking grip, people. I mean, it's not, can't you just be like, wow, I am jealous. I want that. Good for you, West Ham, but I'm not going to hide my jealousy. I want that for my club. And you know what?
Yeah.
That's what I want to.
Yeah, I think where the frustration comes from. Look, I agree. The abuse doesn't get you any. I don't understand where. I don't. Like, if you abuse Steve Parish, he's not going to be like, all right, yeah, that's fine, I'm leaving. That's not going to happen. Let's be realistic about the whole situation. But there's also a side of me which I don't know about you, Tim, but I feel like I'm a bit used to how Parish likes to portray himself as well, because there's either a video or an article that gets posted and we all think, oh, things are going great. Not that things are bad as it is, don't get me wrong, but how I think you think, which is right, is you look at the finances, right, and you think, finances we should be solid like that. You don't want sugar daddy because it can go much wrong. But as a fan, I think me, you, Patrick, everyone that's watching this, at the end of the day, what we want for Paddy's is success.
Absolutely.
And success that yes. varies depending on how you view things, right? But for me, my success is win trophies. And Absolutely. We've been in the Premier League for 10 years. And, there's always an excuse. There's always an excuse. And it's understandable. Look, the academy facility, we built that. That's done now. But now it's like the new main stand. I think that excuse is hiding the bigger problem that's at Palace right now. You didn't mention how Steve Parish has, the main control. He has a golden share. He doesn't own the majority of the club, but he has a golden share. But I'm thinking about this, and I think this is a big problem for us leading forward. And that's why I do think changes are needed. Maybe not in Parish, maybe with the other owners. Is that if I'm a billionaire and I have all this money, and maybe you might think differently, Tim, but I'm not going to spend all my money on a football club that I don't have a big say on. There's a guy that owns 5% of the club, let's say, who has a bigger say on that. And I think this is where people might direct on Steve Parish, but I think the issue that we have right now is you want to push forward as a football club. Yes, we're building a new stand, and yes, we built the new academy facilities, but Fulham, they built a new stand, and they still finish above us whilst building a new stand. We haven't even started a new stand, and they've completed it. So there is that, looking at Bournemouth, they're going to do the same. We're going to see how that ends up. They're trying to build a whole new facility. They've got billionaire owners. But we have got billionaires at this football club. But I think the reason why the billionaires are not 100% certain is because you have a guy that doesn't own as much as you, but has a bigger say than you. And I think that is a problem. Even if you move the finance away from you, I think that's what needs to be solved, realistically.
I hear you that you think it's a problem. I think it's good that they do not have control. I think it's and let me make this one point here, because when a billionaire, look, I'm an American, so I like Americans. I'm an investor. I like investing. But when you are an investor, if you are, Harris and Blitzer, and you're an American investor and you go into a sports enterprise and you are investing, I'll tell you what the number one thing you're looking for is. You're looking for a return. That's what investing is. You are looking for a return. And I know what that, if you're talking about a football club, and that's what we're talking about here, I don't want investors whose primary motivation is a return, because if that's what I've got, then there is going to have to be some method of extraction of value. out of the football club, and we don't have that. We don't have a way to give value away. We need every bit of value we've got in order to kick on and try to win trophies. So I hear what you're saying, but I'll tell you this. If we can get to a better ownership structure that does allow for investment and create some just a better structure overall, that we reward investors who come in, okay, that would be better. But man, it's a big, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical here, D, because it's one of those, I've seen this before. Be careful what you wish for. I've seen the Manchester United financials. Be careful what you wish for. I don't want to give too much away, because this is a very special club that's connected to South London. The second those connections start to fray, we become a different football club, and I just don't want it. I don't want that.
Okay, but there's two ways of looking about it. We're gonna move on from the soccer in just a second, because I need to wrap up and I need to eat soon.
Yeah,
well.
no, I'm sorry. I'm stretching this out on you.
No, but a new owner, I get it can go wrong, but there's also owners it's gone right. For example, let's take away who they're owned by for a second. Let's just talk about money. Newcastle, they brought in wealthy owners, right? They brought in wealthy owners, and it seemed like the community has been impacted positively from that. From what I've been hearing, the club has been impacted positively. But then on the other hand, you can look at Chelsea and you can have an owner that has crazy amount of money but don't know what they're doing. So my point is, just because I see Parish, I respect him for what he's done at the football club. I do. And I feel like it could be good time still if we do sign one or two players. We're not that far off in terms of completing the squad.
I agree.
We both agree on that. But
I agree.
I also think that just because we lose Parish or maybe might lose Tex or Harrison Blitzer, it doesn't mean that it could. There's two ways of looking at it. It could go even better than it is right now, or even worse. But that's the whole point. It's a risk. You don't know.
Yes.
It's a risk. And it's a question of, is it a risk willing to take? And forget about the ownership. Even the transfer window, for example. Is it a risk willing to take to spend on money on a right back and then on a striker to push forward? Maybe it might be making our budget a bit tighter. But is it that risk? Because that risk can pay off. We might finish in the top 10, or we might have a good cup run, and it might pay off because the value might go up in some of these players, or we might end up being in a better position in the league, and you never know. You never know what can happen. And that's the question. Under Parish, how I see it is, and it has worked so far because we've been in the Premier League for so long, he doesn't like to take the risks, and I get why. Because one, financially, it's better like this because you're building you're building slow and steady, and at the end of it, you're going to get something that is going to pay off. But at times, you just want to see the risk, because if it's another season where we don't strengthen the position we need to strengthen, and we're going to season we finish 12th, 13th, it makes you question as a fan. I'm thinking as a fan right now, what is the point? Like, what is our objective? Is it just staying up in the Premier League? Because that does get tiresome without sounding too spoiled. Because other clubs may be like, oh, we'd love to be in your position. But you want to go and try to achieve something. When you see other clubs achieving that and we're not willing to take the risk to push forward, it's like, when are we going to take the risk? Because at some point, something needs to change. Maybe it's a new stand, maybe it's the academy. But right now, as it stands, going into our 11th season, it might, if we don't strengthen the position, it's like, what's the point? Like, what are we doing next season? What's the objective once again?
Do you think... Let me ask you both this. Do you perceive that the moves that Steve Parish and the board have made do not reflect much in the way of risk taking? I genuinely do want to know.
I think the way that we're going right now is I think we're on the more of a safe side than taking risks, because we're trying to build organically, right? We're trying to build a new stand. Which goes on the safe side because we're trying to increase our finances there. Academy is like that. In transfers, maybe we did on Vieira's first season. But apart from that, I don't really get the sense that we're willing to go all the way and take the risks. That's how I see it. I feel like we're trying to grow organically, which I understand. But then every time there's an excuse. What if once we build a new stand, there's going to be an excuse, or we have to pay off the new stand? Do you get? It's like never ending. That's what it feels like. right now,
Yeah.
anyways, as a fan looking at it. Maybe I'm a bit emotional about it, and maybe I'm not thinking straight, but that's what it feels like. It's just never ending. Like with 10 years in the Premier League, majority of it's been trying to stay up, which I get it. But now it's like the new main stand, or we built a new academy that'll pay off in like 4 or 5 years. Well, how long are we going to 15, 20 years until we want to push forward?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Patrick,
the big thing. Patrick, you can answer it.
What do you think?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say I love your takes on Palace, and your knowledge of your finances is brilliant. I just want to say that first. But I think overall, I've always said this before. I've always really respected Parish as an owner. He lost my respect this season. I will say this. I think that he definitely took a major risk in hiring Vieira. That was a massive risk, which I thought paid off. And I think he took the safe option in getting rid of him. I understand people was talking about relegation. I don't care what anybody said. We were never in danger of relegation. The fixture list really took its toll on us. And I think any manager he'd brought in, and Vieira included, would have kept us up. Whether we finished 12th, which we were most season, or we finished 15th, we weren't going down. I think if he was a little bit less risk averse, I would respect him more. I would appreciate him more, because I appreciate what he's done. I just think that he's so risk averse that for me, it frustrates me. I totally get what you're saying, what he's doing. I get the need to build the academy, to build the main stand, to keep us in the division for 10, 11, 12 years. But at some point, we have to push on. And that's why seeing West Ham win, though I don't really think we're West Ham's rival. You can say jokingly, but I've been a fan of football for 50 years. West Ham are a bigger club than Palace. They are. They just are. And I like to say we're rivals. We beat them every couple of times a year, which is great. But they're a bigger club than we are. Brighton, on the other hand, are not. Brighton, for me, is what we should be aiming to be. They are a traditional rival. They're not, they're a rival that always have been since I was a kid with Alan Mullery. We should be trying to be at least level pegging. And we always brag for 8-9 years or 8 years. What was the phrase, D? Watch the mind the gap.
Mind
right?
the gap.
And now
mind the
gap now, right? We're 6. They're 7 forever. We're 12.
We're filling
and
the
going. Gap. They're filling the gap exactly. And they're in Europe and we're not. So and there's so for me, forget West Ham. It's Brighton, and if that doesn't push Parish to be a little bit more risk averse, nothing will. Because and again, Tony Bloom is a gambler by heart. So I get where he's coming from. But just push it forward a little bit. Just go out there and get a striker for 15, 20. Get Gyökeres. Get a right back. Get Sacha Boey. Get a manager. Go out and get the Brighton manager. Go out and get him. And then go from there. And then I'll say that, you know what? You're really trying to do the right thing. Just being so risk averse to me is it's getting to me. It's just getting to me. I've seen it. I've seen everybody.
Okay.
I've seen Burhead. I've seen Terry Venable. I've seen it. I've seen Markham Mouse. I've seen I've seen it. I've seen Koppel. I've seen it. I've seen everything that to see as a Palace supporter. I needed to be a little bit more, take a more risk, and I think I would appreciate him a lot more. But I know what you're saying. I know where you're coming from. I really do. So thanks for that.
No, I mean that's helpful context. So the only thing I think I agree with all of that, and I want to see us push on a little bit further. I'd like to see us push a little bit more. I agree. What I don't want us to do is presume that we have to take on a billionaire owner, a sugar daddy.
I agree.
We have to take on inordinate amounts of debt. We have to do things that are self-destructive in pursuit of trophies. But I think the nuance you laid out there, Patrick, is brilliant. I think that's exactly right. The one thing I'll say, and where I appreciate the caution, at least a little bit of the caution from Parish, is that there's two things that Brighton has that we don't, and I'm not talking about the scouting. They have a dramatically lower wage bill.
Yeah.
And they have Tony Bloom saying, I know you owe me $400 million in debt. You do not have to pay it back.
Exactly. No, great point.
So we don't have that. It is possible to, what could we get from Harrison Blitzer? We could say, write us $100 million in debt. And they would say, great, we'll do that today. What are the terms by which you will pay us back?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why if you want to go with that approach, that's why you bring in someone that that just wants to spend his money at Palace, and he doesn't care about money. He doesn't have any money problems. I think Texter and Harris and Blitzer, I think they are investors, as you said. I don't think they are that sugar daddy. If we had that sugar daddy, maybe Tim, they wouldn't care. They'll be like, all right, have this.
I just don't want it. I just don't want it. I want a fan. I want a fan, and I want us to have a structure that allows us to do great things.
Let me give you this scenario. What if we had Steve Parish running the show with one billionaire owner who doesn't care about his money? So that here, have the money.
I mean, we can all dream. We can all dream, and that would be amazing. I mean, look, I do. Look, I mean, I'll tell you, if I was a billionaire as a Palace fan, I'd be like, let's go. I write up as much debt as you want, and I will write it off. Like, if I could wave that wand and do it, 1,000,000% I would. But it's just
not happening.
It's just not the reality. But I do. Man, I love this community and what you guys. I'm gonna let you get something because if I keep going, D, you're not gonna eat, and I actually want you to eat. So, so no, but I love this community, and I'm happy that we get to talk about this. I'm maybe a little bit more. I'm possibly a little bit more naive, but I tend to agree with you both, and I am mad with jealousy over West Ham. I mean, I'm like everybody else.
Brighton.
I want it for us.
My dream literally is forget about billion owners. My dream is to sign a right back and a striker. I'll be happy.
And a manager. How about a manager? And a manager.
At this rate, just give me a striker right back and we can solve the manager. That's my dream fulfilled.
Okay.
That's all I dream about.
Yeah.
I just want to see the squad have 1 to 11 quality. I think we're just 2 away now with this Lerma signing. But before you go, Tim, Lerma rating. What did you give it out of 10? Did you give it already? Maybe you did. Maybe you did.
I didn't, but I would give it a solid 9. I really love the I love the pairing. Like, I do think Decore is our absolutely dyed in the wool number 6. He's our firm foundation there in the midfield. I think Lerma can sit right alongside him, and I mean, I may be mischaracterizing him, but I think he kind of transitions between 6 and 8. I think he has a little progressive movement in him, but I think, boy, he's got a stiff spine. I'm looking forward to his creative yellow cards next season.
Yeah, well, yellow cards was an issue, and it's, tomorrow's.
But he turns it into an art form. I mean, that guy has been an artiste.
He's improved. So spoiler alert for tomorrow's video, he's improved in that area. He's massively improved. So even that well, you can see in that video. In terms of weakness, I don't think there is many. Apparently, according to Bournemouth fans, anyways. But look, Tim, really appreciate your time. You probably had a long day as well.
Thank you, Tim. Really appreciate you.
You guys are the best. Take it easy, guys.
Take care. See you later.
Friend. Take care.
Let's bring on Rich next. He's been waiting for a while. Then we're gonna wrap it up. Then, Rich, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm not gonna keep you because I know hour 41. That's a long time.
It's mad, mad. What's this guy done to me, man?
I didn't
jump on for a bit. Talk about Lerma.
Yeah, exactly, Lerma. Here we are. But Rich, Lerma, talk to me. What do you make of it? Free transfer, 3-year deal as well. Yeah. I'm very happy. Patrick's happy.
Very good deal. Very good deal. Not only the fact that it's a free transfer, it's a midfielder that we need badly. We needed a midfielder from last season anyway, and obviously both Macca and Luke are leaving as well. It's an extra body as well. And the fact we did it early. We've done it early.
Before the window even officially opened, which is mad.
Yeah, this is it. Hopefully we don't use this as a kind of a stopgap. I think we've got so much we need to do. And obviously now seeing what happened last night. I mean, I'm happy for West Ham, for the English side of things. But I sat down and I thought, boy, we're so behind. We are so behind,
what needs to happen?
So
what needs to happen? What needs to change?
Yeah, what
oh man, See, I know there's been Paris Twitter's gone off with this whole Parish debate and stuff. But I just think, all right, I feel we're stable now. We've been in the league. This is going to be our 11th year. I feel we are stable. I don't think we should start using like, oh, we're stable now. We're in the sense of we've been saved from administration and stuff like that. That was 11 plus years ago. I think we need to kick on. Spend like our first season under Vieira, we spent what 65 or so million, and the season was successful. You know, let's just hypothetically say that Vieira had won some of the games where we conceded late goals. That's Europe, you know,
or close
to being. So when we spend and we've got a vision and a plan, we do well, and that's what other clubs are doing. I think we spent 40 million the whole of last season, I believe, maybe under that. It's not sustainable trying to spend pennies. Yes, I understand we're not the most financially blessed, because obviously we've got 4 different owners, 2 who don't really care, 1 who cares somewhat but has other ventures, and the other one who wants to save pennies. So it's like, but at the end of the day, listen, I just feel we need to kick on, man, and hopefully this year we kick on. Hopefully this is a start. We've got the kit released early. We've got a player in already. We need a manager.
Exactly, yeah. We're forgetting about that. Yeah, we're talking about signings, but we ain't even got the man to lead it. We've got a nice car, but where's the driver? Like, literally, is the driver Lewis Hamilton or is it literally me driving? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the most important thing. You can have all the
if you have to take the reins, take the reins. Right? Like, we need someone in.
Bro, I'm good, bro. You can take the reins, bro. You already got the new kit as well. Let's see the new kit, by the way. I haven't seen it yet.
You know what? It grew on me. At first, I was like, what is this?
Nice.
But
it looks nice.
I like it.
How's the fit? How's it fit?
With Macron, always go a size up.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers. Yeah, I'm gonna get.
And
Okay. Great. All right.
This is not the body fit one either.
So Patrick's gonna get small then.
Funny guy. Funny guy.
Rich, before here we go. He's gonna prove
last year's kit XL. I'm not joking.
Hey, all right, fair enough, man. Fair enough. Well, you got a season ticket now, Patrick. So
I'll be there. I've got a season ticket now. Yeah, so you'll be seeing
Patrick.
me.
Remember, you live in America where they wear t-shirts down to their knees.
Man.
Baggy
fits the greater go.
With his panties get going down past his knees. It's gonna be like a t-shirt. It's gonna be like a. Oh, I don't even know what that is. I don't know. Where do you draw the line between the t-shirt and the skirt? Maybe, I don't know. But look, Rich, before you go, what do you rate this signing out of 10 then?
Ooh. Importance of position. Yeah, importance of position. It's done early. It's cost us nothing.
Yeah.
I can't complain. 9. I'll give it a 9.
9, yeah, I can't disagree with that. It's a very good signing. Yeah. Considering that this player is probably worth around £25 million and we got him for free. It shows everything that we got very lucky that he's out.
He's quality as well.
And when you look at Decore and Eze and you add Lerma there, I think that's a perfect 3 combination where they can all benefit from each other's strengths, and I feel like that should be our midfield complete there. But look, Rich, appreciate your time, bro.
No problem.
And hopefully you lot also make sure to check out Eagle Eye Football, where you can get their perspective on the Lerma signing and more as well. But Rich, hopefully catch up with you again soon, bro.
Definitely. Take care.
Thanks, Rich, man. Take care.
Okay, Patrick, let's give our rating and let's wrap this up, because you would think by the amount of time we'd be going on that we sign Messi or someone or something. But
into Miami, baby. He's coming to America. Baby.
Yeah, he's coming to America. We talked for 2 hours with Jefferson Lerma on a free deal. It's a very good player, but I don't think it's that over.
All right, to be fair, it wasn't all about Lerma, because Tim's perspective on the ownership was brilliant, but that was a half an hour. So, and then it was 20 minutes about salt and seasoning. So honestly, it's about an hour on Lerma.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, exactly. An hour still a lot of time for midfielder that we got on a free deal that we expected anyways. But look, before we wrap up, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here as well. But before we do go, Patrick, so what do you give Lerma out of 10?
Yeah, I think what Rich's points were brilliant. Early signing, position of need, got him on a free. It's a 9 for me. It's a 9 because again, like I said, it's just what we needed exactly. And I'm very, again, I'll say again, beginning of the video, I'm so happy we got it done because he's really, really, really what we needed in that midfield.
Yeah. Just because you gave him a 9, I'm going to give him a 9.5. Better rating. So next season, I can tell you, I can say, oh, you give Lerma a 9. I give him a 9.5, so I can have 1 over you. Lerma's a 9.5. Maybe, hopefully, this doesn't backfire. But look, overall, jokes aside, we are all pleased about this sign. I think majority of the fan base is a good step, especially now that the window hasn't even officially opened. And hopefully, there's going to be many of these videos where we can talk about players signing for 2 hours. It's more fun. It's more fun like this. But as always, if you have enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And as I've said as well at the start, throughout the show as well, tomorrow there's a special video dropping on Lerma, so make sure to check that out. It should be dropping around 5 to 5:30 p.m. UK time, where we get Bournemouth fan from Cherry's Red Army, who gives us all the insight into Lerma. We ask a question about where he can play in midfield. Can he play as a 2? Can he play in a 3? And much more as well. It's a fantastic video. Credit to Kurt from Cherry's Red Army. So make sure to check that out. But that's it from me and Patrick. Thank you to everyone who joined us live. And until next time, up the pipes, people.